Yo, what's up? This is Giorgio Martini from Noise is King, and in this video we're going to show you how to create a hand clap with operator. The hand clap that we're going to be creating is this one over here, and it sounds like this in the mix. We can also play with the time and with the filter and distortion and everything, because this is a operator preset, so it's really flexible. So let's see how that would sound. Alright, so this video is divided into three parts. The first part, I'm going to quickly talk about the anatomy of the sound, how it is composed. Second part, we're going to create the actual sound clap, and the third part, we're going to see which kinds of variations and modifications we can do to the sound. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so this sound is composed by two sources of sound. The first source of sound is an FM oscillator, which has a normal carrier and a modulator. The carrier is a sine wave and the modulator is a noise sound. The noise sound has an envelope and its loop mode is set to beat, and this is what makes this type of sound. The second source of sound is just a sine wave with a pitch envelope, and this is what gives it this kind of like punch, this kind of like kick, which gives it this punchy part. Then these two sources of sound are combined because these are outputs from the operator, and we just add some distortion with a saturator, some EQing, and lastly some chorus. Alright, so let's create the clap now. So we're going to add a drum rack over here. We'll put it at the beginning. Let's rename it to something like clap. Then we drag and drop an operator over here, double click to create an empty clip, and we draw some notes. So let's hear how this sounds. This is just basic, the basic sine wave form. Alright, now we're going to turn the transpose all the way down and make it respond to velocity. So we go here to the main tab, go to velocity, make it affect volume, and turn the amount all the way up. Lastly, we change the algorithm mode to dual FM mode, and we're ready to go. Alright, so with oscillator A, we turn its volume to the maximum. We put the attack to 0.81 milliseconds, release to 245, the trigger mode, the loop mode to trigger, and the decay to the minimum. Let's see how that would sound. If you're hearing it on a laptop or normal speakers, you're probably not gonna hear anything because it's very low, and this is fine for now. Next up, we're going to turn on the oscillator B, which is the modulator of oscillator A. We're going to choose a white noise waveform. We set its envelope mode to beat, the loop mode to beat. Repeat at 1/48. The sustain to -21 dB, the release all the way up, and a decay of 37 milliseconds. There you go. Let's hear how this sounds. We're gonna turn the volume a little bit down, and let's see how this sounds. If I turn the sustain lower, you're going to hear more of this. There you have it. The next source of sound is oscillator C, which is already the next independent lane of sound. So we turned the level of the oscillator C all the way up. The sine wave is fine. And as the overall transpose is set to -48 semitones, we're going to increase the pitch by playing with the chorus. We put it at 12. Each chorus corresponds 1 octave, by the way. Now we set the phase to 25% to give it an extra click at the beginning. Now let's edit its envelope. The decay to 146. Sustain all the way down. Loop mode to trigger, and we're done with the oscillators. Next, we're going to add a pitch envelope and the filter. So for the pitch envelope, we turn it on over here, turn the pitch envelope all the way up, set the peak and the initial to 24 semitones, and set its decay to 62. Now we need to filter the sound. So here we have the filter. We're going to choose a band pass of 12 decibels, and we're going to set the type of the filter to OSR. If you're on Live 8, you can just stick with the regular, with the default type. Now, let's see how this sounds. Of course, it sounds like nothing because the frequency is to the max. So we're going to play with these two parameters, with the frec and with the res, until we hear something we like. And here we can see the... Alright, so I've played already with these settings and I find 1.6 and 40% of resonance sounds good for me, but you can try whatever you want. Alright, so we're going to add now some effects at the end, some distortion with the saturator, some EQing, and a chorus. Let's drag and drop a saturator. We're gonna add a little bit of distortion, or drive, so we put something like 12.6. And the output, we're going to decrease it because the more drive we add, the more the final output goes up. So we want to attenuate that a little bit. So we're going to put something like minus 10 dB, and let's see how that sounds. Oh, and we're going to also change the curve type to hard curve, and let's see how that sounds. Alright, that's cool. Alright, for the EQ, what we want to do is we want to remove most of the low frequencies, which may be there because we added a sine wave to, and on oscillator A we have a sine wave and the transpose is set to minus 48. So we want to remove all those unnecessary frequencies. Then we're going to accentuate some of the middle ones, and then we want to remove a tiny bit of the last ones. So let's see how the original hand clap had it. And as you can see, we remove some of the low frequencies, or I mean most of the frequencies at the end, at the lower end. So we accentuate some of the middle ones, and then we remove some of the higher ones. So I'm just gonna copy this one and I'm gonna paste it over here. And I'm gonna move it at the end. Let's see how that sounds. Alright, finally we're going to add a chorus. So let's drag and drop it. Where are you? Over here. Put it at the end. So I don't want too much chorus. So I'm going to put it at 30%. Feedback around 60. And I always like somewhere around here, but let's play with it while it's playing and see which setting we like. So let's hear with and without. Alright, that's fine. And we're done. Alright, so in this third part, we're going to see which kinds of variations and modifications we can do to the sound. Alright, so we could play with all the parameters in operator and all the parameters in the effects, but we're just going to watch at the ones that are more fun to play with and the ones that change the sound more. So I'm going to play with the attack, I'm going to play with the release, I'm going to play with the time in the operator. We're also going to see how we can, just by playing with the frequency and the resonance, how we can change the sound a little bit. We're also going to play with the drive of the filter in Live 9. We have this drive that comes with these type of filters, but we're also going to check the shaper mode that the operator has built in, which is also in Live 8, and we're going to play with these settings and also with the amount. We're also going to play a little bit with the drive and the saturator, this guy which controls the mid frequency of the snare. We're also going to play a little bit with the chorus dry wet effect. And we're also going to play with the sustain level on the oscillator B, which is going to make this clap, this more prominent or less. So let's get to it. I'm gonna put my headphones on and let's play with this guy. So the attack. The release. filter a little bit. Let's play with the filter, the drive. Play with the drive in the saturator, so it's a little bit more distortion. With this guy over here, and finally a little bit of more chorus if we wanted to. Let's play finally with the sustain level so we hear more of the... And we can also change the loop mode over here from beat to maybe loop, and we can play with the time parameter over here, and we have more shorter frequency of the repetition of the envelope. So let's see how that sounds. Maybe this one's a little bit too much. Alright, well, this was it for this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. You can find this template, this Ableton Live set, on noisesking.com on the tutorial section. Also, if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can holler at me on the Twitter at thisisgiorgio and also at noisesking. Also, please let us know what you think in the comments below. And as usual, thanks for watching and see you next time. Peace.